Tom was heartbroken that his body was gone and his close relationship with her was disintegrated. Tom now faced the choice of maintaining his close relationship with the maid outside of the house, which may put his relationship and marriage in jeopardy, or just to forget his friendly relationship he had built with the maid. The choice was his, and he pondered the choices intensely, not wanting to hurt either party. Here ends our presentation.
Hi, I am here to answer the first part of the question, how can Tom and Margaret stay friends after the reason their relationship has begun? And what skills in relationship maintenance would be useful for them? So I will intertwine those two questions into one. First of all, if Tom and Margaret are to meet, there's two sides to it. Chances are his wife is not happy about it. So just in case she is not happy about it, when Tom is meeting Margaret, I would ask him to choose, or ask both of them to choose their values wisely when they are meeting. Attraction is a very funny thing. Sometimes it just never dies. The nature of the attraction between Tom and Margaret must always be kept in mind and respected. When they meet, I would advise them very much to meet where they have a lot of people and not somewhere looking or feeling romantic. Also, they should keep in mind that alcohol is a tremendous risk factor, and they should not even consume alcohol because they both need the judgment and restraint that comes with clear-headedness. That's the first thing. Secondly, opposite sex need clear boundaries, especially because Richie is married, Tom is married, and Margaret is not. There are things about Richie and Margaret's interaction that need to change if they are going to be friends. For example, I don't think it would be wise for Richie to talk to Margaret about his personal relationship with his wife. No, talk to Margaret about his relationship and his problems he's having in his marriage. Somehow I feel they should avoid these topics, and there has to be a rethinking of the ways that they would be reacting. Also, when they are interacting with one another, it extends to their body language as well. Staying friends, is it a good idea? Yes, it is a good idea. But just remember that building a friendship after a relationship, the relationship they had was boss and worker. But building a friendship after a relationship is work, and may put some weight in the young man's relationship with his wife. And my final word is, if both parties, well, not in this case, not both parties, he's already in a significant committed relationship, and it's possible that they can be platonic friends. Especially, and this can happen especially if both of them are respectful and they are supportive of each other's relationship. I thank you for my part. I pass you on to number 2.
Okay, number 2 asks, what do you think best explains communication in close relationships? It is an act of sharing a feeling or experience, bonding with someone who cares and who may have things in common. In the case of Nick and Margaret, they were bonded because they had things in common. They enjoyed playing pool, they enjoyed listening to each other, they had listening ear for each other. She was there for him whenever his wife wasn't around to listen to what he had to say. It is also a relationship that endures or tolerates over time. It consists of independent partners who satisfy each other's needs for connection and social inclusion. It causes a feeling of emotional attachment to each other, are irreplaceable to one another, and endorse unique communication patterns. Persons are intensely involved in the conversation. They feel comfortable talking, respond to someone as though they were good friends. They listen, seem relaxed, and feel trust. In terms of the NAPS model of relationship development, this is a model of stages through which a relationship goes. There's 2 stages, to make or to break. So we have the to make stage or to break stage. And in our case, we didn't have any to break, thank God. We had to make. We had the wife making back up, it is not really making back up. The wife decided that she's no longer going to work late, so then she will take up the duties at the home as a wife, as a mother, as the case may be. So, in the NAPS model coming together, we have 5 stages. We have initiating. The first stage, which is characterized by people's first encounter, involving initial contact, greeting, conversation, status, and so on. We have 2, the second stage, which involves becoming further acquainted, using pleasant small talk to gather a sense of what parties may have in common with each other. We have intensify, which involves the lowering of defenses, confiding in one another, getting to know one another more deeply and expressing feelings. But in this case, we didn't have much feelings being expressed. It was more indirect. And the last one is integrated. At this point, they think more in terms of we than in terms of I, sharing property, friendships, special occasions, daily routines, responsibilities, commitments, and so on. And we have bonding, which is the 5th one, when declaration of togetherness becomes official and the public, by way of some formal declaration of a couple's commitment and exclusive to one another, typically a wedding and so on. But in this case, we did not have that happening because they reunited and they are now back together and the family is where it's supposed to be. Thank you very much.
Okay, the 2 question was how do factors like gender affect communication in friendships? And I just have a little bit of points. Men in friendships, men tend to get jealous if, in the example that, well, not men, women and men also, that the wife tended to get jealous of Tom and the maid's relationship. They also think sometimes on the surface, don't really go into content to find out what, because he was the one telling me that it's his body and everything, and I didn't really get just thinking on the surface and everything. They also have different opinions. He was trying to tell me that we should keep the maid, and well, I did not think that. And they need to have boundaries because a friendship may sometimes bloom into a relationship instead of a friendship. That's those are my thoughts.
Right. I'll be handling number 4. What the question is asking is that do you agree that friendships are more fragile than dating relationships? Well, in this example here that we did, we didn't really touch on dating relationships, but we were in a marriage relationship, and that marriage relationship, anything could have happened. Well, my wife got really jealous, if you will see. And I had to figure out if I wanted to hold on to my marriage or keep the friendship. Well, in this scenario right here, you would see that my marriage is very important. Well, it was important to me too. And I also wanted to keep the best friend, the buddy. Answering the second part of that, the second part of the question is that if you looked at a different culture other than the United States, how would it be different? Well, I'm from the United States, and compared to Trinidad, it is very different, I would say. People would generally do their own investigations, look at different ways of confronting it, because in America, people wouldn't attack this kind of relationship head on. They would try and hire like maybe a private investigator to find out what was wrong or anything, but right here in this scenario in Trinidad, you would find out, be like, hey, you're touching up me, man. That brings that into my